Oh, hi. Chalo padhe. I have just cancelled my party plans and thought to make a video for you guys. So, welcome back to the Legal Saints and let's fall in love with law. So, yes, in today's session, we'll be dealing with the Sociological School of Jurisprudence and we'll be studying specifically this amazing scholar, Roscoe Pound. Better fall in love with him because this man is in your syllabus, all right? So, yeah, that is, the latter point makes him much more important. And one more important thing is that it usually comes for, a 20 marker question, and it has always come, like when I was in first year, back then it came for a 20 marker, and then when I taught people, so it again came for 20 marker, and till date, I guess, like if there has not been any changes, I'm sure it will come for a 20 marker again. So, okay, let's begin. One thing before we start is, I've been consistently asking you guys to comment, but I don't see ample of response from you guys, so I'm a bit confused if we are going to do this video just like we did major legal systems of the world, like with notes, all right? So that was my concern for you guys, that since you guys might not be having any idea about how to divide it in points, so I should be doing it, notes wise. But this video will be partly doing it with the notes session, and partly I'll be teaching you. So do comment, subscribe to the channel obviously, and make sure you give it a thumbs up. And also, what else, do comment that which part or like what style do you prefer and do you like, all right? So finally, let's start. So I know this little book that is here, I feel that most of you will not touch this, so I've just prepared a shorter version, okay, served right from the case mat. And maybe if you haven't watched major legal systems of the world, please go and watch, because that too is also a 20 marker question. Also, case mats are enough for this subject. So without any wastage of time, we'll take a little background of this school of jurisprudence, like how did it evolve and all. Okay, so America was a very, very popular place, okay? And why was that so? Because the jurists over there were almost equal to the scholars, okay? However, in Great Britain, what happened was, like, there's always a sort of comparison you must have seen in the previous videos as well, okay? So there's always a comparison between America and Great Britain in most of the schools, okay? So same here as well, that in Great Britain the jurists were at a superior position than the scholars, okay? So that is why America was a very popular place for the scholars, like new theories grew, people encouraged it, and the environment was so as to support the evolution of new theories, all right? Now, coming on to the sociological school. Now, sociological school, it, supported, or it led to an American movement, all right? And this American movement was possible, like the sociological school, how did it emerge, and then how did it led to American movement? This was only possible because of these two categories that existed, okay? One was the faculty, that is the scholars and the professors and all, and the other was the bench. And bench, we all know what the bench is. If you don't know, shame on you, go find it. Switching quickly to the person who is very, very important and crucial to your examinations, and his name is one and only Roscoe Pound. This man is much more important than your latest crush, your boyfriend, your girlfriend, sir and ma'am, please pay attention. All right. So yes, so what this man said was, coming on the point, this man said that while we make the laws, interpret the laws and apply the laws, okay, the laws, when we are doing, while we make, interpret and apply them, social facts should be considered. Okay, now how are the social facts considered? Factual study of social effects. All right. Okay, like you factually study कि हाँ भाई अगर ये कॉज है या फिर हम ये चीज़ अप्लाई कर रहे हैं तो इसका इफेक्ट क्या हो रहा है, अगर हम चालान बढ़ा रहे हैं तो इसका इफेक्ट क्या हो रहा है. ठीक है. नाउ द अदर थिंग इज दैट प्रीवियस to legislation, before you legislate, our dear leaders, what you should do is you should socially investigate, okay, before you legislate. Okay, fair enough. Next point is you should constantly study the effectiveness of law. ओके कि सोशली कितनी चीज़ें इफ़ेक्टिव हो रही हैं. आपने बना दिया है, उसके बाद आप भूल गए हैं, तो ऐसे तो नहीं चलेगा, है ना. नेक्स्ट इज देयर शुड बी साइकोलॉजिकल, दिस इज साइकोलॉजिकल प्लस फिलोसॉफिकल स्टडी ऑफ जुडिशियल मेथड्स. ओके. नेक्स्ट इन लाइन इज सोशियोलॉजिकल स्टडी ऑफ लीगल हिस्ट्री. ओके, कि भैया कहीं किसी भी प्लेस की, किसी भी रीजन की लीगल हिस्ट्री क्या रही है, कैसे लॉ इवॉल्व हुए हैं, इसकी स्टडी हमें करनी चाहिए. और व्हेन वी से सोशियोलॉजिकल स्टडी, वी मीन दैट द इफेक्ट ऑफ लॉ ऑन पीपल एंड हाउ डिड द लॉ इवॉल्व एंड everything else that you can include in this purview. Okay, now there should be allowance. Okay, now allowance should be just and reasonable. And when do we say, like, कौन सी ऐसी चीज़ है जिसको हम allowance कह रहे हैं, कौन सी चीज़, कैसी allowance just and reasonable होनी चाहिए. Solutions, like there should be allowance for solutions, acceptance, okay, for the solutions to any problem that is just and reasonable. Okay, coming on to the next is Ministry of Justice in English speaking countries. Okay, should be established, and achievement of various purposes of the various laws should be taken into account. All right, so these were the things that Pound proposed, that these things should be done. Should be done for what? Okay, come alive. Okay, wake up. So these things should be done, and only then we can say that while making, interpreting and applying the laws, you have considered the social facts. Okay, now just common sense that if for a 20 marker you are asked to elaborate on each of these points, it will be foolish, and our faculty is not so. So what do we do here is that these are the things that he demanded, okay, that should be done if you are considering, or if any person on earth is considering the social facts. Okay, however, there is one fulcrum concept to Roscoe Pound theory, and that is what do we call it? Social engineering. But before we shift to social engineering, we see what his views are on the common law. Now this man says that common law is something that stresses on individual rights, okay, and therefore, like keeping aside the vision of the above mentioned things that we discussed, okay, therefore to achieve the purpose of the legal order, what are the things that need to be fulfilled is A, there should be recognition of certain interests. Okay, B, there should be the definition of the limits within which these legal interests are recognized. All right, and C is the limits should be secured. All right, तो पहले क्या है, पहली चीज़ क्या है कि हम लिमिट्स को पहचानेंगे कि ये हमारी यहाँ से यहाँ तक हद है, उसके बाद हद को हम डिफाइन करेंगे, ओके, कि लाइक सपोज टहलना घूमना, ओके, but eventually you don't go to someone else's property at night and just take a stroll like that, okay. So that is why these interests need to be defined, okay, and their limits need to be decided. And the other one is, once this has been decided, securing those limits is the next task. All right, so scope and subject matter जो ये है उसे जब हम करते हैं, सो लाइक टू फुलफिल दैट, टू अचीव द स्कोप एंड द सब्जेक्ट मैटर ऑफ द कॉमन लॉ सिस्टम, व्हाट नीड्स टू बी डन इज, लेट्स सी, one thing is that you classify the interests, all right. The second thing is that you select those interests. Like interest can vary, it is a variable, it can vary from one person to another. Some person might be interested in something, some person interests lies in something, others might not feel the same. So once we classify them, okay, like preparing an inventory and okay, it's been classified, then the second thing is that there should be a selection, all right. It should be like what interests are to be legally recognized and what are to be not, all right. Next is demarcation of the limits of securing the interest, okay. So one was your classifying, second is your selection, and third is your, what's the term, securing, yeah. So next should be the consideration of means. Now why do we need to consider the means? We need to consider the means through which we can secure those limits. All the points are interconnected. Next is evolution of the principles of valuation of interest, all right. So these are the 5 things that you need to do, all right. And in order to fulfill the scope and subject matter of the of what scope and subject matter of the system. And one more thing guys, like scope and subject matter, these are the things to be done to fulfill, for fulfillment that is required, okay. These if you talk about scope and subject matter of the system, this is the scope, these 3 are the scope and subject matter of the system, okay.